Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. It's Susie here from Esoteric Trading Solutions. I hope you're looking after yourself, being kind to yourself, being kind to your family and your friends, looking after your beautiful pretty cats, your beautiful dogs, being kind to them, and just really being kind to people in the world, even if they're strangers, just to make this place a better place. And I hope you're all looking after yourself with this COVID virus as well. Just thought I'd look at the market, just have a look at what's going on. It's about 7 o'clock in Australian time here in Australia at the moment, 11th of May. Just to see what's going on with Bitcoin and everything else for that matter. Bitcoin's done the halving, don't forget. Has come off, came off from about 10,000. It's down to 8628. It looks like it's done the same sort of thing that had happened in 2016. It came off 2 days before the halving and then bounced thereafter. So it has. You might see a bounce off this. Did come off the 200-day moving average if you look at it technically as well. Ethereum's down 2%. Tether is 0.1111. As I said, Tether shouldn't be at $1. It should be around 70 cents to the dollar, simply because they only buy assets, US dollar, real US dollars, about 70% in the fund, which is not great. XRP's come down 1.9%. Bitcoin Cash 2%. Bitcoin Satoshi Vision down 4.2%. Litecoin down 2.3%. Binance and so forth. If you have a look at just how things have gone against Bitcoin, most things are down against Bitcoin, which is unfortunate. Some things have done quite well. We see Tesla's has done fairly well. Has hit a wall. Tesla's around $3, so anything near $3 has been a sell as far as I'm concerned. Let's just have a look what else has done fairly well. Tron's done fairly well this month, but it's come off that 0.017. Huobi token got to about $4.20, and then they sold that as well. Neo's done quite well this month. God knows why, when it's only got about 6 to 8 nodes, which is not decentralized. IOTA, as you know, I don't like IOTA at all. It just doesn't work as far as I'm concerned in terms of the technology. Neo's done, Nexus done quite well, and one that I've noticed starting to come back is Neuro token as well. So there is always interest what's happening here. Binance has done fairly well, but has come back a bit. Binance, the exchange. So let's just have a quick squeeze here. Let's just see what has done really well over time. Just do that. I don't know any of these stocks that are up like 2,000% or anything. Acute Angle Cloud, God knows what that is. These I have no idea. Latoken's, that's interesting. I was actually looking at something that was like a Latoken the other day. It's up 20%. Interesting. Cryptarium, which I don't like. So a lot of these coins, some of them I do like, and some of them I just don't like. There's no business model or no revenue or anything else for that matter. So let's just have a quick squeeze at the technicals for Bitcoin. If you look at the daily of Bitcoin, it did hit a high here around that 10,000 odd, and it bounced off this pivot point of 8,059. We've got a 200-day moving average here as well. In trading view, you get all people's what their sentiment is, and so all the reds and the yellows are basically sell, the greens are the buy, and people put up their own analysis. So you can click on any one of those, and it's everyone else's own analysis. So you can see that the sentiment of the market is basically a sell. I do like to look at that just to have a look. If you look at the 4 hours, I know it makes the graph look quite busy, but if you look at the 4 hours, my model is actually saying a sell. The support is 8687. It's just below that slightly at 86339. Moving average is down to 7819. I would be surprised if it got down there, actually, I have to say. It did get down to, on this sell-off of 8108, there was some stories that Binance actually cut some traders out of their short positions, and they weren't very happy about that, which is not great. And also there was big whales selling, a day ago on Bitcoin. So we have a look at the Bitcoin shorts as well, just to see what's happening on the shorts. I like to look at that as well, and just it gives you an idea of what's happening with the market overall. Look at the daily on the shorts, and we can see, whether people have covered their shorts or not. So if we look at this, the shorts at a maximum were around about 19,000 contracts for Bitcoin. If we go back to March, the low was around 3,400, got to about 19,000, and those shorts been cut back to about 5,800. So as the market rallies up, the shorts get cut back. They start buying those shorts. Okay, so let's have a quick look at Ethereum, and then we'll look at some fundamental news, and then we'll look at other markets as well. So if we look at Ethereum on the daily, and again, Ethereum has done quite well. They're expecting proof of stake to happen soon from proof of work, which is going to make Ethereum a lot faster in terms of transactions. Don't forget, with proof of work, Ethereum can only do about 13 to 15 transactions per second. When you compare it to, say, a Ripple, which can do 1,500 transactions per second as a minimum, or even maybe 50,000 from what I've heard and read as well. So, you know, there's no comparison. If you look at Ethereum back here, it was around 287.19, got down to a low of 86, then rallied up over the 200-day moving average, up to about 227.52, and now it's just hit below support of 187.38 at 186.49. So the moving day average, the 200-day moving average is 174.65. It's not as negative as the Bitcoin chart for all the sells here, but you know, it's held up a lot better than the Bitcoin chart. So let's look at the four hours, which is what I look at. I do like the 4 hours. And if you have a look at that, the 4 hours, it's right on the 200-day moving average. I've got a sell on this, but if it breaks this 200-day moving average, it'll be quite negative. Done quite a bit of volume here in the last day or so on the 10th. So, you know, if it breaks that 200-day moving average, could get down to about 171.29, okay? So let's just have a quick look at the shorts on Ethereum. And again, this gives us an idea of what's happening. Let's go to the daily on the shorts. Excuse me. The only thing I don't like about TradingView, you've got to keep doing this. It really annoys me, I have to say. You've got to keep rescaling. Okay, so on the shorts for Ethereum, maximum shorts, it looked like it was around 221,000. They cut those shorts down to about 61,000. Then they moved those shorts back up to 187,000. As the market rallied, those shorts got cut down to about 111,000. So that's interesting. Still a fair number of shorts on Ethereum. Maybe you will see a little bit more of a pullback on Ethereum. Let's look at XRP. It did get to 22 cents, but now it's been hit again, down to 19 cents. Very, very frustrating if you're an XRP holder, I have to say. There are a lot of people who take shorts on XRP because the bid-offer spread is very, very tight. It's extremely liquid, and that's the reason why. So if we look at the daily on XRP, we got a bounce from here, you know, 11 cents up to, whoops, let me get rid of that, up to around about 22.5 cents, something like that. My sell came in at 22.396. It's down to about 19 cents at the moment. This is a big downward channel. If it breaks that, it's going to be further down. Where's the moving day average? Actually under the 200-day moving average, which is not great, okay? So that doesn't look fairly good. It doesn't look very good at all if it's under the 200-day moving average. Let's just check out the 4 hours on XRP. If you look at the XRP on the 4 hours, we've got at under the 200-day moving average, support broke through support of 0.19670, currently at 0.19418. So, you know, you wouldn't like to see it lower than that, but if we got to the to that line there, you're looking at about 0.18292. So let's just quickly have a look at the shorts on XRP. There's always a lot of shorts on XRP, as I said, because it's liquid and it's on lots of different exchanges, okay? So let's just have a quick squeeze here, put it in the daily. Oh, it's annoying. Okay, so let's check that out. So on the daily, if we go back to, say, February sometime, the lows were about 4 million short. Got to an extreme of, what are we looking at there? About nearly 19 million short. Then as the market rallied to 22.5 cents or so, those shorts were cut back to 8.79 mil. Okay, so there's still a fair amount of shorts there. It can be cut back a bit more, but we have seen at the extremity of XRP that the market was actually short about 34 million. Okay, so hopefully we'll see those shorts cut back. One cryptocurrency has been rallying, and I do trade this cryptocurrency quite a bit because it is fairly liquid, is OX, and this is a decentralized exchange, and this thing was about, you know, 17 cents, the same as XRP, and it bounced right up to, I don't know what came out, but it bounced right up to 56 cents. It's currently down to about 38 cents, and I'm just shorting that. Did a lot of volume actually, so I don't know what got that going. But certainly it really pushed up, and I did buy some actually, and now I'm actually shorting it at this level here, around this level, and I'm just wondering whether this thing's got shorts on it. Just have a quick look. Not sure what came out about this one. I know the whales got behind it, but and maybe it went on Coinbase or something like that. Another thing too, Coinbase, with everything going on with massive futures volume going through, was offline yesterday, which is not great for an exchange that has about 9 million clients. But yeah, if you look at this, XRX does have shorts, and those shorts have increased massively from 664,000 up to, what have we got, is that 1.6 million? Yeah, 1.6 million. Wow, so it's a lot of shorts. This thing continues to rally. You might see this being squeezed out. I didn't realize it had as many shorts on it, so that's one to watch for sure. So let's just have a look at the news from crypto land to get an idea of what's happening in crypto land, and just see, if we can decide which way this market's going to go. Paul Tudor, who's very well known, was a big hedge fund manager, does equities and everything, has basically come out and said that they're going to start trading Bitcoin futures, because Bitcoin is a diminishing asset. It's only 21 million, as you know, in supply, and they're nearly all mined. So he sees that as a hedge against inflation. So that's certainly something to watch out for as well. That guy's a very large hedge fund manager and a very well-known hedge fund manager. It's Paul Tudor Jones. You can even see him on YouTube in his 20s. He was, selling currency and buying currency. So really have a look at the most read news on UK crypto news, which I like to look at. First story is Bitcoin price analyst, Bitcoin halving dilemma. Will it surge to 19,000 odd, or will it nosedive to 4? I feel that it'll probably go higher from here. That's my view. Certainly in history, that seems to be what it's done. Particularly, what's this about Justin's son Tron out of money? I find that a bit hard to believe, I have to say. The guy's very, very well connected. And has bought BitTorrent, also Polynex, and a few other things. But let's just have a quick squiz of that story. It could be FUD, which I suspect it probably is. I like Tron, actually, I have to say. Unless something fundamentally changes about Tron, then I wouldn't. Then I would change my mind. So what have we got? Tron WeChat channel saying that Tron was the recipient of 2 million coronavirus relief grant from the US government, and they're expecting another grant. I mean, this is just pretty much anyone in business, essentially. So, I wouldn't be too worried about that. That's, not my worry in terms of Tron at all, to be perfectly honest. Let's just have a look at other things here very quickly. DBS Bank joins R3 Quarter blockchain. There was some rumour, I don't know whether it's real or not, that Ripple had actually bought R3. So I don't know. I need to have a look at that and follow that up, that's for sure. There's a lot of Bitcoin exchange outages, which is not great, and that was Coinbase. And as I said, 9 million clients, and they've got an outage when things get busy, is not great. Also, Binance apparently cut some people's, some traders' short positions as Bitcoin was going down, and that's really bad as well. In terms of Bitcoin futures, that just does not happen in fiat markets, okay? So seriously, the cryptocurrency market and the exchanges need to get their act together, because that is just really bad. Not great at all. So if we have a look through here, what else we got here? Dr. Doom and Peter Schiff lambast Bitcoin after it drops $2,000. I mean, certainly, the fact that it dropped so much, it's in the hands of big whales. There's no doubt about that. What else is here? Anything of interest here at all? Quickly go through this stuff. Not really. Let's go to the top stories. We know about the Justin Tron thing. Bitcoin fees increased 300% days before the halving, and it's a whole problem. The miners can increase fees as Bitcoin becomes more and more heavily traded. The miners actually increase fees, and it takes longer to have the transactions settle, and that's why XRP will be #1 cryptocurrency coin as far as I'm concerned, because you don't have this problem with miners' fees and transactions taking it forever to settle, and that's why Bitcoin cannot be used, the technology cannot be used as a payment system technology. So what else we got here? XRP validators approved deletable account features for Ripple Network, which is great. It's another technology change, which is going to be great for the network going forward, and make it a lot faster as well. And something about halving of Bitcoin, don't tell me they're going to have, there's going to be a fork about Bitcoin Cash, and oh crikey, they couldn't do another fork, could they, on Bitcoin? Seriously, that would just be too much. Okay, let's have a look at latest news. Okay, the COVID virus accelerated the arrival of digital currency. We know that. Okay. Right. So not a lot going on. Let's have a look at Slack now. So we just have a look at Slack. We just see some of the stories that have come out. Bitcoin price tumbled from 10,000 down to 8,000 odd, and it was really whales selling that, essentially going short in terms of Bitcoin futures. Story here about the US can't regulate cryptocurrency on old laws from 1993, and I agree with that. They certainly need new laws. How Europe is driving adoption in terms of cryptocurrency law, which is great. What else we got here? Nothing of interest there. CoinDesk, MakerDAO is the Godzilla of DeFi. It's funny because I don't actually like MakerDAO. I had a look at that. It's not one that I actually like. Celsius targets new users with tokenized gold and commodities. Halving hype drives second strongest spot volume on record. The run up to Bitcoin's halving has driven near record volumes, with April 30th posting second largest daily trade on record. Right, well, we did see Coinbase not work yesterday simply because there was too much going on in terms of volume. Several major cryptos have been strong buying at lower levels. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tezos, ADA and NEO. Interesting. ADA, Cardano came out. They're doing their testnet. That's going to come out on May the 11th, and they look like they'll be going live on Shelley fairly soon as well. Also, Charles Hoskin said that it's going to be better than Ethereum, and was slagging Ethereum the other day, which is not very professional, I have to say. But anyway, I suppose that's what people do in the cryptocurrency world. Token sales treated as security offering by default in Gibraltar. Gibraltar government is treating token sales as securities offered by default unless the issue can prove otherwise. That's interesting. What else we got? 3 billion trading platform rebranded amid high profile acquisition. Digital asset manager CoinShares has nearly completed acquisition of a trading shop that generated 1.5 billion in the past quarter. Over-the-counter exchanges helped thwart 5 million bank heists in Brazil. Okay, so what's happening with Ethereum? Ethereum will go to proof of stake. I'm not sure when, but apparently it should make them a lot faster. It means they'll have quite a lot more nodes, and it will make transactions per second a lot faster, and they'll have more transactions per second than under proof of work, and they won't have the issue with the miners increasing their fees and slowing up the system when there's a lot of volume being done. So Ethereum technically did retest that 227 as we said, but is below that 187 at the moment. So what's that one? Ethereum-centric project worth 400 million dies as team jumps ship. Interesting. Okay, let's just quickly go through here. Here we go. That's all Ethereum. Tether issuance and Bitcoin price have no statistically significant relationship. Interesting, because it does seem every time they issue Tether, the Bitcoin seems to go up. But, you'd have to have a proper look at that to actually see if there was some sort of statistical relationship between that. What else we got? All eyes in India and crypto banks still don't get 100%. Okay, so we don't know what's happening there with India and the cryptocurrency law. Okay. South Korea to develop an identity platform blockchain for autonomous vehicles. China's blockchain love affair continues with new financial pilot. China are talking about, don't forget, their digital currency. So that will probably come out fairly soon. They are piloting in different cities in China. Iran ditches Rial in hyperinflation crisis. Bitcoin demand rises, and that's what you see when currencies actually go south, or the currency becomes less and less and less. Like in Iran, obviously the currency is called Rial. People start buying Bitcoin because the currency is worth nothing. CJ puts recent DOS attacks on Bernard's standard competition. So there was a DOS attack on Bernard's, and he's got a traders fund. If you lose money, apparently you can access some of that if you lose money. Traders say Bernard's cut short their Bitcoin shorts, which is not great. Okay, something to do with auto deleveraging, which is not a great story at all. They shouldn't be doing that. Charles Hoskinson said that as in terms of Cardano, that their test net's going to be done on the 11th of May. Cardano, Charles Hoskin rubbish his claim of delays in Shelley shipping. Don't know what that's about, but just read the headlines. Other alts have been bouncing. Other alts, I like to keep an eye on everything that's going on. It actually gives me an idea of what's happening in markets, to be perfectly honest. Let's just look at Cardano. They were having a go at Ethereum, which is not great, but it's a bit of argy-bargy between Ethereum and Cardano. Quickly look at IOTA. IOTA after I can't believe that. Seriously, Weiss ratings, it shows me that they don't know too much, because seriously, Ripple have so many more clients than IOTA. And I've never liked IOTA. Okay. Let me just quickly look at Tether. Right. Okay, that's all for that. Let me just look at other markets as well. Equity markets have done very, very well, and they keep going higher and higher and higher with all the Fed money that's coming into the market and the quantitative easing. The Dow Industrials past 24,000, 24,331. S&P is up near 3,000, NASDAQ 9121. If you look at markets, pretty much for 1 month, NASDAQ's up nearly 12%. What else we got? S&P up 5%, the Dow's up 2.6%. So markets have been doing pretty well. Even the Nikkei's done well at 4% up, Shanghai up 4%, Taiwan index up 7.75%. Some of the other markets, Hong Kong's down 0.25, Jakarta's down 1.1. Australia's up 0.9. We never do that well, which is annoying. We should, because we've got, you know, our conditions are pretty good. The only thing is our banks are actually cutting their dividends because their profits were down so much from a lot of this COVID virus and everything else. But if we look at just countries overall, looking at the equity indices, just for the most countries have been up except France, Portugal, Italy and Spain. Now, there's a lot of issues with those countries. The yields are rising in those countries, so it doesn't surprise me the equity market's actually off. And if we look at you know, the Middle Eastern countries, that their markets are off as well. Now, so this is not a fully fledged equity market rally. It shows you there is risk in the market, because pretty much you've got equity markets in France, Portugal, Italy and Spain down, and we know that interest rate yields have been rising. And the Middle East is also, which is an emerging market, they're also down as well, which is not a great story. So just be careful when, you know, with equity markets. I wonder how high they can go when it's not a fully fledged equity bull right across other countries in the world. Okay, so we look at the sectors. Just go to the US and see what sectors have done well in the US particularly. We find year to date, technology up at 3.9%. Everything else is negative. If we go to gold miners are up 9%, software up 9.8%, biotech up 6.61%, and internet and everything else is negative. So that's quite interesting in itself. So let's have another look. Let's go to fixed income and let's look at global yields. And keep an eye on global yields, seriously, because yields are at all-time lows, and if yields keep rising, it's going to be very negative for the equity market. And you'll see that with Spain, Italy, and France, and also Portugal as well. Okay, so Australian yields have come down, and we are seeing, if we look at the shape of this curve, we're seeing, what do we got? We're seeing a flattening of the curve, because they're buying the long end more than they're buying the short end. If we look at Brazil, for example, which is considered emerging market debt, yields have come down quite a bit, and we are seeing here, we're seeing a steepening of the yield curve, because they're actually buying the short end more than they're buying the long end. Canada yields have come down quite a bit. Chinese yields down in the very short end, and what do we got here? Up in the long end. So we've got a steepening of the yield curve there. Interesting. France, yields have come down quite a bit, but last month they were actually going up. Okay, 3 months they were up, this month they've come down, so the equity market's not convinced with buying France equities at this stage. Germany yields have been coming down. Greece yields are going up, so keep an eye on Greece, okay, because yields are rising, which means sovereign risk in Greece is rising. India yields are going down, Indonesia yields are going down, Italy yields last month and the month before, 3 months yields are going up, and they are still going up in the 30-year, 5 year through to the 30-year. In the very short end they're going down. So here we've got a massive steepening of the yield curve, okay, which means that it's going to cost the Italian corporate much more money to borrow in the longer end or the 3-year part of the curve than the 1-year part of the curve, okay, and also it's steepening, which is not great. Japanese yields have gone down this month, but last month they were rising, okay, and they're rising quite substantially, and that's not going to be great for stock markets either, okay. So let's have a look at Portugal. Same story. Last month rising quite substantially. This month curve steepening exactly like Italy and rising in the long end. So that's why the equity market's not doing well. Russian yields are down. So let's have a look at South Africa. Down in yields, their emerging market, but we are seeing a mixed picture here, okay. Spain, same story. Last month and the last couple of months up in yields, and the long end up in yields, okay. So it's not right across the board. Yields down in the UK and the US, but we are seeing a very mixed picture here, so be very, very careful. We go to corporate credit, the debt side of the balance sheet. So corporates can issue equities for cash, and they can issue debt for cash, and they can even issue cryptocurrency if they want to for cash as well, okay. If we look at the corporate credit curve, most credit for the month is down, okay, so it's negative, but and we have seen credit curves come back. Even the triple C's have come back, but I'd be watching that very carefully, okay, because if yields are starting to rise, you're going to find that corporate credit will not do very well, okay. So keep an eye on that, and we do know that the last 3 months corporate credit's been quite negative and yields were blowing out, okay. So yields were blowing out the last couple of months. Have just come in this month, but do keep an eye on that. It won't be good for equity markets if yields continue to blow out, okay. Let's just have a quick squeeze of currencies. US yen 107.24 has underperformed of recent time. Euro yen 108. Aussie dollars showing some strength at 65.09. Done pretty well, the Aussie dollar, I have to say. What else? Emerging market currencies haven't done that well, so I like to keep an eye on those as well. What do we got here? So US dollar. So US dollar this month hasn't done too badly, but the last couple of months was doing quite badly. Aussie's actually done quite well against the US dollar, so I made me look at that. All right, let's have a look at commodities, see how gold's going very quickly. So we see this month the CRB index has done quite well. Commodity Research Bureau index, Baltic Dry index is still negative, which is a shipping indicator, which is not good, okay. Heating oil up, crude and oil has gone up, which is good. Don't forget last month it was down quite a lot. WTI's up overall, natural gas is down, Brent crude is up, gold's up as well, and some of these agriculture, soft agriculture are up as well. In the last couple of months have actually been down. So if we look at the overall index, CRB index is still negative. Baltic Dry index is still off 20%, which is a shipping index, which is not great. Crude is up 8%. Ethanol up 16%. Gas up about 28%. Bread's down 1.6. Interesting. Okay, and the softs are still negative. Okay. All right. So let's quickly look at what's coming out, or what has been out. US had a negative GP, gross domestic product, of 4.8, which is terrible. China came out recently down 9.8, which is massive, absolutely massive. Eurozone down 3.8%. This is gross domestic product. If an economy is not growing, it's not generating jobs, okay? If you're not creating jobs in an economy, the consumer's not spending, okay? And particularly when the US economy is based on 70% of some consumer spending, this is a really bad negative figure, and so is China, okay? So if you're not growing an economy, you're not generating jobs, and you're not generating consumer spending, and that's pretty much the story, okay? Not good, really not good. Let's have a look at the economic calendar very quickly. See what the story is this week. Got lots of things coming out by the looks of it. Inflation in the US, core inflation, business results, leading economic indicator, Fed speak. So it will be a very interesting week. Money supply in China, heaps of stuff coming out. Jobless claims. So it will be an interesting week to see what happens. Also, a lot of people are talking about taking off some of the COVID restrictions. We are in Australia particularly, which means I can go and see my brother and sister-in-law. I haven't seen them for 2 months since I've been back from Amsterdam, so hopefully that'll happen. Anyway, guys, that's enough for me. Please do look after yourself, be kind to yourself, be kind to your family and friends, your parents particularly, your beautiful animals, and just be kind to people in the world just to make this a better place. Thank you very much for listening. Susie, thank you.